Back inside Gamebridge Fieldhouse, it's day 7 of Indiana Fever training camp. I'm Scott Agness of Fieldhousefiles.com. Make sure you are subscribed right there at Fieldhousefiles.com, as well as my YouTube and social media, to make sure you get all the best coverage of the Indiana Fever. Well, the first week of training camp was very much about getting familiarized with one another, making up for lost time because of the lack of continuity and players brought back from last season, just 5. And so then they got into those 2 preseason games. And this season, it's very much about installs, both offensively, but especially on the defensive end of the floor. That's one of the biggest changes I think you'll see from this team from last year to this season, is the focus and intensity and deliberate details given to that defensive end of the floor. And so what this week is really about is locking in and real understanding. We talk about tendencies for players on the offensive end of the floor, but how about defensively and where they need to help out? Who needs more help than others? When they slide over, when they allow for that one-on-one matchup. It's locking into all those different things, gearing up for just one more exhibition game leading into opening day coming up here against the Chicago Sky on May 17th. Now, after practice, I was able to talk with Stephanie White, and among the things she talked about was Damiris Dantas for the first time, as well as the Pacers' Game 2 win last night over the Cleveland Cavaliers. She watched it, and I had to imagine from a coaching standpoint, she took pride in the Pacers seeing the team play until the very end. More than that, though, we talked with Kelsey Mitchell. Holly Rowe of ESPN reported over the weekend at Iowa that she had dislocated a middle finger of her left hand there, and so she talked about that for the first time. Said being over in China, you really didn't have time or the ability to get that addressed. So it's something she's going to play through here. And then also able to talk with Lexie Hull about defense details and her observations through the first week of training camp. Let's go inside Fever training camp.
I'll get us started. Has Caitlin come through her first game just fine?
Yeah, I mean, she's been limited in practice, so we're still very cautious and working our way back and really letting her body kind of tell her how much to do and really relying on the trainers, the athletic training staff. But she's making great progress, and that's what we need, just to make sure that we're super cautious and have no setbacks.
How about your handling of Didi? How do you balance like real life stuff with also, hey, we need you out on the court. Let's get you up to speed here.
Yeah, I mean, her mental and emotional well-being is the priority. You know, taking as much time as she needs. Personally to work through, making sure that we have every resource available for her. And then when she's here, this can kind of be an escape, right? This can be an escape for her, and now she's getting back into the mix. She didn't practice for about a week, so working her way back in and getting her timing and her rhythm is important, but taking care of her as a person is the most important thing. It's the priority.
Is the goal then ultimately, hopefully, she'll be able to get at least one game in this weekend?
Yes, I hope so. That's the goal, is her to be able to get it. We need to figure out a rotation with her on the floor, what we look like in the way that she spaces the floor, what kind of advantages we can have on both ends with her out there. So that's the goal.
Kelsey talked about kind of training camp changing the details this week. What has shifted? What details are you focusing on kind of going into the
But timing, spacing, execution, offensively, setting and using screens, making sure we understand what actions we're trying to get, who we're trying to get it for. Certainly that on the defensive end, communication and application of our coverages. You want to be able to play through mistakes. You want to be able to find calm in a storm. So we don't do like brick practicing where we want to get it perfect every time, but we've got to make sure that we're able to pay attention to the details, put first things first, as we like to say, and then be able to play through that.
Coach, you guys have kind of adopted that now mantra that's kind of been put out by the team there. What does that mean to you and how you're kind of coaching this team?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it means holistically from the WNBA standpoint and women's basketball standpoint, like now you know where you've been. And from those of us who have been a part of this league for me it's been 25 years. This is what we've always envisioned it being like, and I think from a team standpoint, just the recognition that comes with our team and with Caitlin and with having back-to-back #1 picks with AB. We're not going to surprise anybody, but we're also going to get everybody's best shot. So we also have to hold ourselves to that standard, and that, look, we know that we're going to have a target on our back, and we've got to be able to bring an elite level mindset every single day.
for you personally, being around this league for 25 years and now seeing it at this moment, is there an emotional kind of reaction for you? Is there a satisfaction, or is it always kind of keep on working?
It's always keep on working. I mean, I think the time when you start to reflect is usually when you're finished, whether that's playing or whether that's coaching, when you move on. So, I mean, for me personally, I'm excited that I'm still a part of it, you know, where we are right now. But we also understand that we still have a long way to go.
Were you able to watch last night?
Yeah, man.
What was your reaction about how much coaches always preach play to the final buzzer, play all 48 minutes? How'd that make you feel seeing that?
I mean, toughness, number one, you know, competitive spirit, number two, you know, not being afraid of moments, you know, number three, you know, our staff and myself have gone back and forth with time and score situations of missing free throws. So in my head, I'm like, did he miss that on purpose? Did they work on that tip? Because those are all things that we've been talking about. You know, situational basketball, being able to inbound the basketball. You know, when to use fouls that we've seen over the last course of the last couple of days. You know, timing and when you use fouls. I mean, all of those things that we debate and talk about as coaches all the time, and then situations that we end up practicing in practice. But doing it in practice is one thing. Being able to do it in live action is a whole different scenario.
You think you missed it on purpose? You think you missed it on purpose?
I don't know. That was the first thing that came through my mind. It was a short arm. You know, the tip was right there. It was perfect. So I don't know.
And then timeout's another thing, right? They had one at their disposal, chose not to use it, and Tyrese made the most.
Absolutely. You know, and that's the difference in a team that you trust and you've been building with. You know, and a team that you're new to. I mean, that's part of our process right now in practice is figuring out what can we allow them to play through, when do we need to use timeouts. We don't want to allow the defense to set necessarily, so we want to allow them to make plays, but part of that's building trust and understanding in time and score situations what we want to get, and when we know that they have that understanding, I think it's a little easier to let them play through that.
Kelsey, take us through the day of practice and kind of the reset after you guys were able to get a couple preseason games under your belt.
I think now we're transitioning to like what we need to like look good for that first game. A little more specific on details about, you know, opponents. You know, just really in detail on what we need to focus on going into knowing that we can have 2 weeks out from the game. So I think it's just more that honing in on the details, the small parts of it. I think the first part of training camp was all about, you know, just in general, like, you know, get your feet under you, running, what you so have. And I think now you get specifically into your team and what your teamwork needs.
What has stood out to you about the defensive play and the defensive emphasis there? Because obviously that's been a big shift.
I think that, I don't know, BJ is really amazing at it. Kareem was always amazing at it when they played. So I think they just kind of pouring into us now, making it a habit, accountability on the defensive end, all cylinders. And so I think right now we learning, but we also getting experience with these guys, practice guys, to kind of, you know, be the best defenders that we can. But defense is very important for us. In order for us to win games this year, it's going to be defending. So.
What are some of those details you're getting into this week?
Know when to switch, know when not to switch, know who to switch on, know who not to switch on. Like that's just the detail and grit of the game that a lot of people just talk about the wins and losses, but no one actually talks about personnel, schemes. And so now you get to focus on that, and so that's what we've been to focus on today.
Tolly Rowe mentioned on the ESPN broadcast you dislocated your middle finger knuckle. When did you do that? Like
China. Yeah.
What was that experience like, just coming back from that and doing that rehab?
I didn't do rehab. No one fixed it. No one helped me. I don't know what you want me to do, but I don't have any rehab for it. No one helped me out in China, so I just here.
So is it still dislocated?
Probably healing on its own now. It's just nothing I can really do about it. But yeah.
Have you been told like maybe in the off season you want to address that?
I mean, obviously the trainers here have taken care of me to get done what I need to get done, but it's only so much you could do with a, you know, fractured fingers. Part of life, part of basketball at that point. So normal stuff athletes go through.
Kelsey, a bit of a broader question here. The team's kind of taken up that "Now You Know" slogan in terms of the season. What does that mean to you?
I think now you know that Indiana is actually trying to, you know, be that foundational team to where, you know, we winners too. We've went through the trenches knowingly already, so now you know that we've done enough of that, and now we want to talk about winning. So I think winning conversations is the conversation for the Indiana Fever now. So that wasn't always the case, but now it is.
talked last week about how Tamika and other players have laid the foundation for the franchise.
Yeah.
You were here, when the team wasn't winning.
Yeah.
Now, what does it mean for you to kind of be looked at in the future as you're going to be one of those foundation players?
Oh, it's a dope experience, especially coming from an organization like the Fever. I wouldn't want to rep anybody else as far as the new people that come in and being a pillar of that down the line. I think it's worth it, and I think people like Tamika Catchings did an unbelievable job of pouring into me. So now it's only right that I do the same thing going forward.
Is there a bit of swagger, the confidence that comes with kind of the now you know thing?
I think naturally, yeah. I think that you have to carry a sense of chip on your shoulder to be prepared for the moments. But I think that it's just for our culture. It's not really for anybody else. It's like I think now we need to know. It's not about proving anybody else, otherwise. I think for us right now, it's just our culture is now you know. So.
It's fun to be part of. I think getting to play at home was awesome, but you never really know. We're playing against guys in practice, which is great. They're challenging us, but getting to play against teams that we're going to see in the season, it's fun to get those reps against them. But I think more than anything, we're excited. I think chemistry is going to continue to grow, but everyone's eager to be out here. Everyone's eager to win, and I think it's going to take us far.
Because one thing you're seeing maybe is you have more support on the defensive end and scrappiness of other players, whether it's Sophie or Dewana or whoever.
Yeah, and I think that starts at the top with Steph. That's a big focus in practice, so everyone's really buying into that and trying to make it as hard as we can for the other team.
Lexie, you guys have kind of adopted this now you know kind of mantra for the team this year. What does that mean to you?
I think just, last year there was anticipation for us having the number one pick in Caitlin and people not really knowing what to expect, but I feel like people know what to expect now, and the fans are excited to see it. They're excited to be part of this season with us, and I think that's just pretty much it. People are aware. People are aware of the Indiana Fever when maybe before they weren't.
From your perspective, what do you want those fans, maybe they've seen you guys before, maybe they haven't, what do you want them to expect when you guys are on the court?
Fun basketball, winning plays. We watched the Pacers the other night. You think they're out of the game, they're not. That's going to be the same thing with us. We're never going to be out of it. It's going to be fun. We're going to bring the energy. Hopefully a lot of wins.
All right, get it high, inside the logo. Here, get your step up. All right, down, attacking, hard guy, continue, down, spray. All right, get yours here. All right. Oh, get rid of it. All right, come on, guys. Get your trip. You see it? Let's go do it. All right?